almost kidnapped on Halloween night. Story time. On Halloween of 99, me and my friend were 14, and every year our town throws a big party, but we never got to go because our parents wouldn't let us. So this year we decided we were going to sneak out and go to that party. We tell our parents the big lie. She's staying with me, I'm staying with her, but we're actually staying somewhere else. So we get all dressed up, and then we have those people drop us off on Main Street around 5 o'clock. We're dancing, talking to older people, walking around town thinking we're Mr. Big Stuff, having the time of our lives doing adult things. Or at least we were up until 11:30 when everything started to close down and we didn't have a ride home. Yep, we were straight up dumbasses. We didn't even think about how we were going to get home. So now after everyone left, Main Street was like ghost town and we were stuck walking alone. Well, it was midnight in 1999. We didn't have cell phones or Wi-Fi, so we had to find a payphone. So everyone we call is either gone or in bed, and it takes forever to get people to answer, but I finally get up with someone. And he was like, well, I'm not home right now, but I'll be coming through there, so when I see you on the side of the road, I'll pick you up. We stood there, and my friend was like, look, why don't we just go ahead and start walking home? At least we'll be halfway there by the time he picks us up, so we leave. We're walking down this long, dark highway in between the city and our house, and it's normally really busy during the day, but late at night, there's nobody out. And there were barely any street lights, so it was really dark too. So about 5 minutes into our walk, this truck comes pulling up beside of us and rolls down a window and says, hey, you girls need a ride? And when I looked in the window, I said, no, we're good. There was something in that man's eyes. I knew he was trouble. But my friend was stressing about getting home, and she was like, Alicia, let's take this ride. I said, no, girl, I'm telling you, Everything in my body was telling me, you need to avoid that man. Run now. So I grabbed her arm, and now we're linked up real tight side by side, and he says, are you sure you girls don't need a ride? And I said, no, sir, we're good. As he drove off, he said, good night, little kitties. Y'all be safe out there now. And I got chills. It creeped me the fuck out. So on this road is a little detour that will get you to our house a lot faster. So we take that right. 10 minutes into that detour, here comes that truck pulling up behind us again. He says, just get in the truck. I can't live myself if I left two young girls out here and then something happened to y'all. Just come on, I'll give you a ride. It's no problem. Again, I look in the window and say, no, we're good. Just go ahead. We stay right here. We'll be fine. Then he looked at my friend and said, well, do you want to ride? I said, no, she don't want to ride. We don't take rides from strangers. We're fine. Just go. And then he drove off. This guy was really starting to sketch out my friend, so she was getting paranoid and anxiety. She said, Alicia, he's following us. He's going to come back. He's going to try to kidnap us. Watch, I'm telling you. And I said, all right, just calm down. So we walk up on this old property, like behind the house onto the porch, and we sit there for a good 20 minutes. As we're hiding on this porch, we see that man's truck come around the drive again. He even slowed down in front of the house that we had just ran behind, and my friend was like, how did he know that? He was already gone by the time we got here. He's following us, Alicia. Now, I was starting to freak out too, and I'm like, dude, we have to get back on the highway. My man's not going to be able to find us if we're not on the highway. So we start walking into the edge of the woods, and a car came by, so we looked out, but it wasn't my man. It was a stranger, and they kept going. We jumped back in the woods and continued walking through the marsh when we see that truck come by again, and he slows down, and he's got a fucking spotlight looking out in the woods. He was shining that light so slowly, trying to find us. I felt like a deer in headlights, like how an animal knows when a predator's stalking it. That was how I felt. My soul was telling me, you better not let that man get you, or he's going to kill you. Once we got up to this next section, we'd have to walk out in the middle of nowhere. So I told Brittany, look, when we get to that area, you're going to have to run. I know it's hard. It's going to be rough because she had diabetes, but I kept stalling. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because we can't stop, Brittany. Once we start running, we have to go. And she assured me, yes, I can run. No problem. Let's go. So we get up that stop sign, we grab each other, and we take off running. Man must have been sitting and waiting. Here he come from behind the building, stomping the gas on the truck, running behind us. So we would run as far as we could, drop down and duck, and then run again, trying to get away. And he's got his spotlight out, trying to shine us with it. I got chills because we could hear him saying, here, kitty, kitty, come on out, kitties. I didn't even turn around. I just kept running because I knew if we get up those woods, we could hide. She tripped and fell over them freaking shoes, and I snatched her up by her damn arm like I was not going to get caught. When we finally get up to the last intersection, we're about 15 minutes from our house at this point. And then we seen that guy's truck turning around and coming back. I was like, oh my God, why won't this man leave us alone? And where's my guy that I called to come get us? At that point, my friend could not run no more. She was already so out of it and tired and couldn't breathe, and her chest was hurting and her legs was cramping, and she couldn't go any further. I said, look, I don't want to split up, but I got to be on the side of that road when he comes through. So I left her laying there, and then I went and hid in the ditch on the side of the road and stayed squatted down where nobody could see me. I run out the road, and my man drove right past me and didn't see me the first time. And I'm standing out here like a sitting duck, and now this guy who's now walking with a spotlight shines it right on my face and says, you girls are going to come with me. I said, no, we're not. And I took off running down the highway barefoot, and then that was when my man was turning around. He come back towards us, and I jumped in the car. I start calling out for my friend, but she's not answering, and I thought for sure that man had gotten her, but here she come crawling out the ditch covered in leaves and mud. So we scoop her up and put her in the car, and then we start driving home, and then we see headlights behind us. That man is still following us. So instead of leading him to our house, we decided to go into the swamp. So we stomped the gas, hit the back roads, and before we knew it, he was gone. We lost him. So we come dragging in the next morning, and my parents were fuming, but once I told them what happened, they were like, damn, I'm just glad y'all are alive. So we didn't get in trouble because they knew we learned our lesson.